Although the role was to be one of his most memorable, British matinee idol Leslie Howard originally wanted nothing to do with Ashley Wilkes in Gone with the Wind, believing himself too old and the character too weak. But David O. Selznick knew these concerns could be overcome with a combination of careful makeup and Howard's considerable talent and charm. He had been born Leslie Howard Stainer in London on April 3, 1893. It was going to be a career in banking, but after being wounded in World War I, Howard reconsidered his plans, deciding to give acting a try. His timing could not have been better. With most young men still away at war, handsome young Howard easily found work as a leading man for several touring companies. The touring productions provided an excellent training ground, and by the time he returned to London, he was a seasoned veteran. Other roles quickly followed, and by war's end, Howard was considered a hot commodity on the London stage. In 1920, he left for America to appear on Broadway in the comedy Just Suppose. The play was a major success and brought Howard instant recognition. Over the next years, he became a leading figure on the Broadway stage, appearing in a series of successes, including the supernatural drama Outward Bound with Alfred Lunt. In 1930, Howard made his American motion picture debut when Warner Brothers asked him to repeat his original role as the alcoholic Tom Pryor in their big-budget production of Outward Bound.
I expect you'll get to know me quite well, so I thought I'd just warn you to begin with.
The following year, he made 3 pictures for MGM, including A Free Soul, which brought him together with Clark Gable, then in his first year of stardom.
Well, can I drop you somewhere? No, thanks.
For the rest of his life, Howard would be one of the few stars who could move with equal success between stage and screen. Often these worlds would come together, with Howard repeating a stage role for the film version, as he did in 1933 with Berkeley Square, for which he would receive his first Academy Award nomination. In 1934, Howard was set to star in the RKO production of W. Somerset Maugham's tragic novel of human bondage. Playing the sluttish waitress Millicent Rogers opposite Howard was a relatively unknown actress on loan from Warner Brothers, Betty Davis.
If you don't come out for me tonight, you'll never see me again.
Good riddance to bad rubbish.
Upon its release, the hugely successful film made a star out of Davis and added to Howard's already impressive popularity. Davis and Howard were to work again when Warner Brothers produced a film version of Robert Sherwood's gripping drama, The Petrified Forest.
What are you looking for?
I suppose I was looking for something to believe in, worth living for and dying for.
The play, which won raves from the critics, became a sensation. One of the key elements to its success was the intense performance by the relatively unknown Humphrey Bogart as gangster Duke Mantee.
Well, so we meet again. Sit down, pal.
It was Howard who insisted, in spite of studio objections, that Bogart be brought on to repeat his role. Bogart would never forget this kindness, and years later he remembered Howard's selfless act by naming his daughter Leslie Howard Bogart. In 1936, Howard was at the very peak of his career as a romantic leading man, and at age 43 he was asked to play Romeo in MGM's production of Romeo and Juliet. Although he was later praised for his performance, Howard initially refused the role, believing he was far too old to play the teenage lover.
Here's to my love.
The following year, Howard spoofed his Romeo in the hit comedy It's Love I'm After, opposite Betty Davis and Olivia de Havilland. One of Howard's most famous roles came when he played Professor Henry Higgins in the 1938 British production of George Bernard Shaw's Pygmalion for producer Gabriel Pascal. The film, which Howard also co-directed, was a tremendous hit in both England and America and earned him a second Oscar nomination. After the pleasurable experience of co-directing Pygmalion, Howard looked for new opportunities to branch out beyond acting. Producer David O. Selznick used this desire to induce him to play Ashley Wilkes in Gone with the Wind, by allowing him to associate produce as well as star in Intermezzo, which, by the way, would mark Ingrid Bergman's American film debut. By the time he had completed Gone with the Wind and Intermezzo, war had broken out once again across Europe. Giving no further thought to his film career, Howard rushed back to England to do whatever he could for the British war effort. The government took advantage of his enormous popularity by sending him out on tours to promote the British cause. It was on one of these trips that Leslie Howard lost his life On June the 1st, 1943, Howard was traveling by commercial airline from Lisbon, Portugal, back to London, when his plane was attacked and shot down over the Bay of Biscay. He was 50 years old. Born on September the 21st, 1918, as Arlington Rand Brooks, Jr., and raised in Beverly Hills, Rand originally studied to become a teacher before realizing he could possibly make a lot more money as an actor. In 1938, he landed his first film role in Love Finds Andy Hardy.
As a gesture of our appreciation, I suggest Miss Betsy Booth be invited to lead the Grand March.
The following year, he performed in his most memorable part, that of Scarlett O'Hara's first doomed husband, Charles Hamilton, in Gone with the Wind. And although he was to appear in many more productions through the 40s, he was typecast in similarly styled weak characters, something that did not please the actor. Brooks eventually retired from acting and found new success as the owner of what grew to become the largest private paramedic firm in Los Angeles County. He passed away at the age of 84 on September the 1st, 2003. Actor Carrol, who portrayed Scarlett O'Hara's hapless second husband, Frank Kennedy, was born October the 4th, 1901 in Canton, Ohio, coincidentally a short distance from where Clark Gable was born that same year. Entering pictures in 1925, Nye's career got off to a fast start with a splashy role as Corinne Griffith's brother in Classified. 3 years later, he was signed to a contract by MGM, where he made several important films, including While the City Sleeps with Lon Chaney and Madam X with Ruth Chatterton. In spite of its promising beginnings, Nye's film career never quite took off, and by the mid-1930s, he left pictures altogether, turning to radio, where he became popular as an announcer. This led to new film offers, but Nye was typecast again and again as a radio announcer. When Nye landed his role in Gone with the Wind, he had high hopes for a career revival, but his hopes were soon dashed after only a few small roles came his way. His last film was Wilson in 1944, where he played, yet again, another radio announcer. After Wilson, Nye decided to stick with radio full-time, becoming the radio editor of the Los Angeles Times. Nye changed careers, working as a public relations man and as an executive at ABC TV, before finally retiring. He passed away on March the 17th, 1974, at the age of 73.